Shruchiputam Atasvurupam Rupam Tasyakrajamuri Purim Maturam Pushvarpam Radha-kunda Girivaram Oh Radhika Malasam Rato Yasapatita Kripaya Sri Guru Tam Natosmi Urave Gaurachandrai Radhikaya Tadale Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tad Bhaktaya Namo Ananda Leelamaya Vigrahaya Hey Mabadibhyasthavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprema Rasapradhaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Bhakti-abheda Abheda-abheda-tattva Jivastakari-karam Pamade Ika-mahika Shanam Prapanam Brinde Namaste Smaraha-smuralim manada Radhika-rasa-kamrupam-kripa-vidhe Swapriya-charna-king-kurum-kurum Tavayasmi Najivami Tuyavana Jivikyaya-deri-tam Namam Charatakam. First of all, I have my suspended Bhagavad suspension. My heart's like flowers, thousands and thousands of times, at the lotus feet of my Holy Master, my supremely worshipable spiritual Gurudev, Asmatiya Paramarathatama Guru Pada-padma, Nityalila Pravishti Om Vishnu Parashto Tarasata Sri Rupa-nuga-acharya Varya, Srila Bhakti-vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. Secondly, I offer my pranam thousands of times at the lotus feet of my Param Gurudev, to Srila Prabhupada, and to all of our Sri Rupa-nuga Guru Parambara. And finally, I offer my pranam to the Samud Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, Vanchakarmitas, Pasa, Vaishnavis. By the closest mercy of Sri Gurant Gauranga, we have assembled here in this transcendental place beyond time and space, in the lap of Giriraj Govardhan, to engage in hearing, chanting and remembering, and especially to discuss the topic of raganuga bhakti and how to enter into bhajan, especially through the medium of the aprakat, supernatural kabbya poetry of Paramarasik Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur, his unprecedented revelation, Sri Radha-rasa-sudha-nidhi. What is raganuga bhakti? To understand what is raganuga bhakti, first one has to understand what is ragatmik bhakti. Iste swarasiki raga parama bistatha bhavet tanmayiyat bhavet bhakti satra ragatmikodita. Srila Rupa Goswami Pad, he's saying that rag is swarasiki parama avistata. He's giving two adjectives. Swarasiki means natural, spontaneous, without prior thought or calculation, not based on depending on intelligence or any rules or regulations. But swarasiki, spontaneous, natural, parama avistata. Avistata means absorption. So param means supreme. The supreme absorption is stay in the object of your love. Radha Krishna Juga. Spontaneous, natural, supreme absorption in one's Ishtadev is called raga. Actually, he's employing a technique of speech here because this is not really raga. Just as a person can say, Ayur Gritam, ghee is life. Ghee is not life. But you can say ghee is life. Why? Because those who take the pure ghee, they have very good health. In Ayurveda, they'll have a long life. So ghee is life. Actually, ghee is not life, but we say ghee is life because ghee is the cause of a healthy life. But not too much. So in the same way, the spontaneous, natural, highest, deep absorption in one's Ishtadev is rag. That means, no, rag is the cause of that. Rag is what? Premamoyi Trishna. Rag is an unquenchable loving thirst. Just as all the senses in our conventional life, our senses are naturally attracted to their objects. If there's a crowd with 100 people in the crowd, but one of them is very beautiful, when you look, your eyes just go to that one person. You don't think about it. It was not calculated. It was not processed by intelligence. It just happened. So that is rag. Spontaneous attachment when all the senses, not only the eyes, but all the senses are spontaneously attached only to pleasing the senses of Sri Krishna. Then that is called the rag. So that rag, that level, is not found anywhere in this world.
Mhm. That is of the eternal associates. So, iste swaraski raga paramapistatha bhavet. When there is an unquenchable loving thirst of all the senses to please the senses of Sri Krishna, which results in, at every single moment, as the spontaneous and deep and the highest absorption in Krishna, tanmayi yad bhavat bhakti, the bhakti which is composed of that. Yat satra ragatmikodikata, that is called ragatmika bhakti. So that describes the devotion of Krishna's eternal associates in his pastimes. Virajantim abhibhaktim brajabasi janadisu. This rag is most clearly and purely expressed and manifest in the Brajabasis. Ragatmakam anusritya sa raganuga uchate. And the devotion of a person in this world, which is following in the wake of their devotion, that is called raganuga. Understand? So ragatmik bhakti is of the associates, and when someone in this world, his devotion is following their devotion, then that is called raganuga. Now this raises a very essential question. Those parikas are in that world and we are in this world, then how can we follow them? So many persons, they don't ask this question. And so it's very prevalent today, in these times of a Kali Yuga, that quite childish and sentimental concept of Raganuga Bhakti is very common. So Srila Vishwanath Thakur and our acharyas have given very thorough, perfect and scientific explanation of everything. First of all, Srila Jiva Goswami Pad, he has said, Pratamam namna shravanam antakaranam shuddhyatam apiksham shuddhait antakarane rupa shravanena tadudoy yugyata bhavati. In the beginning, the possibility, the ability to hear the name of Krishna, it depends on the shuddhata, the purity of the antakaran, the inner sense, the purity of the chitta. How do you know if you have heard the name of Krishna? Nam abhas will chaito darpanamarjanam begin to clean the chitta. And when the chitta becomes steady, then one can hear the name of Krishna. Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur said that the name of Krishna is such that it puts one in the state of the Advaigyan, non-duality. And in hearing that name of Krishna, there is no possibility of the arop, of bhogya bhav. If you hear the name of Krishna, but still one's consciousness has the possibility of arop, superimposing the sense that anything in this world can be enjoyed by anyone other than Krishna, then you have not heard the name. Because when that transcendental name goes into the ear, that is Krishna himself. He is the Advaya Gyan. It put one in a state of Advaya Gyan, and in that state, there is no possibility of mentally superimposing bhogya bhav, the sense of enjoyment, onto any object in this world. Bhakti parishanu bhavo virakti. Bhakti at once, there is the experience of the increase of seva-briti, parish anubhav, realization, and virakti, complete detachment. Step by step, as one is surrendering, it increases more and more. So, here, patamam namna shravanam shuddhyantaka akarane shuddhyatam apeksham. When by chanting without offense, nam abhas, the chitta becomes purified. Up to the stage of Nishta, Ekagrata Chitta. Then realization comes. Rupa Sravanena tadudo yogyata bhavati. The form of Sri Krishna begins to manifest in the heart. When the form of Sri Krishna has awakened in the heart, then Sri Krishna's qualities begin to awaken. When the qualities have awakened, then Sri Krishna's associates, the vision of Sri Krishna's associates awaken. And then seeing the beautiful ragatmik paripati, that means the way in which they serve, the devotee becomes enchanted by that. And he's inspired to follow them. That is raganuga. From the stage of ruchi, the actual sadhana. A raga marga begins as soon as you have some interest. When there is the lobha-mohi sraddha, faith based on greed for the sweetness of Krishna. But the actual sadhana cannot manifest. Krishnam smaram janam chasyam prastam nija samihitam until there's realization. So Srila Vishnu Thakur in Raga-Chandrika, he describes how greed develops. How? Yata yatatma parimrijjate so madguna gata shravana vidhanai. Tata pasyati vastu shukshmam. Tata pasyati vastu shukshmam. Chaksho yataivanjana samprayoktam. Vishnu Thakur is quoting this verse to show how does greed develop. It develops in this way. Just as a person who cannot see well because their eyes are diseased, the doctor gives them a anjan, some ointment, and he puts the ointment on his eyes gradually. Now, small print that he could not see, everything becomes clear. Tata pasyati vastu shukshmam. He begins pasyati, he sees vastu shukshma, the subtle things. So in the same way, yata yatatma parimrijjate so, the degree to which the chitta is parimrijja, cleansed, then to that degree, madguna katha savana vidanai, by hearing, chanting and remembering, to that degree, the devotee begins to see the form, qualities, associates. And then, Yoga Pit Lila, Mantramaya Upasana Lila Pit, and then Swarasiki Lila. This is the Kram. Tannama Rupa Charitadi Sukirtananu Smrityo Kramena. In a Kram, in a sequence. So Srila Jiva Goswami says, Kram Sopan Ritya. If one observes this Kram, he can gradually attain his goal. If he doesn't observe the Kram, then he'll face many difficulties. The chitta, the heart, is compared to spatikmani. Spatikmani means a crystal. And when the devotee is listening to the beautiful way in which the associates of Krishna are serving, how Madhya Yashoda is doing lalan palan, pampering, feeding, nourishing, taking care of Sri Krishna. How the sakas are playing with him, joking with him, wrestling with him. How the gopis are teasing him, stealing his flute, arranging for him to meet with Radhika. All of these things. As the devotee is hearing these things, if the chitta has become then in ekagrata, then realization is occurring at the same time. At that time, the devotee, he sees the ragatmik paripati, the sweet way in which the associates are serving. Tad bhava di madhurye srute di yadapakshate nata chastata yuktim cha tal lobat patilakshanam. The symptom that the greed is becoming mature is that upon hearing about the sweet loving moods of the associates of Krishna, how they're serving him, then here the word srute means on hearing. In the commentary, Jiva Goswami says here srute means on hearing, means kinchit anubhuti on realizing something. Not listening and then thinking, what does it mean? But actual hearing. Just like Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is 700 or so verses. And in the end, last two verses which are spoken by Krishna and Arjuna. What is the last thing Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita? Kachid etat shrutam partha tvayeka graina chetasa kachit agyana sammoha panastaste dhananjaya. Krishna said, Kachit etat shrutam. Did you hear this? And how did you hear it? Did you hear it? Tvayeka graina chetasa, with ekagrata chitta, one-pointed chitta. If you have listened with a one-pointed chitta, then, Arjun, there should be some result. What is that? Kachita jnana sammoha. Has your agyan, has your avidya, has your bewilderment been pranastasted and anjaya, has it been removed? Avidya is there in the heart. Avidya, the avarnatmaka vritti of avidya, the covering ponsi of avidya, is not a positive thing. It is abhav. It is an absence. So when the soul who is covered by avidya looks inside, what is there? Nothing. This absence is avidya. This absence is ajnana. This absence is an unchanging thing. So because of this, psychologically, we project onto the world our own avidya and think everything is staying the same. We accept the non-eternal to be eternal. This is avidya. But when one is engaged in bhakti, then Tesham evanu kampatam aham ajnana jamtama nashyam yapma bhavasto jnana deepena bhashvata. In the midst of that avidya, the absence, the dark, what is darkness? Darkness is only the absence of light. See, Krishna says, to show my devotees special mercy, I illuminate their heart. That is, see, Krishna himself appears in the heart when chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is the test. Did I hear or not? Krishna's question at the end of Gita. Did you hear it with ekagrata chitta? If you did, then your avidya was dispelled. What did Arjuna reply? Yes. Nashto moha smriti labdha tvat prasadam mayachyuta katosmi the sandeya karisye vachanam tava. He said, yes, Krishna, I heard it with ekagrata chitta because nasto moha, my bewilderment has been destroyed. Smriti labdha, and I have attained smriti. I attain remembrance. Remembrance means the appearance of Sri Krishna in the heart. The avirbhav. You know this word chinta. Antas chintita bistatat. Seva upayogi dehena. What is the siddharup? Siddharup is antas chintit. It is the chintit inside. Chintit. Chintit means, imagined. Visualized. No. Rupa Goswami said, Chinta means avirbhav. It is an appearance. Chintamay means avirbhav. The material senses and material mind cannot touch transcendental things. Atasi Krishna namadi na bhavat graham indriyai. Sevan mukhi jivado swayameva spurati. There's a spurti. The spot dharma. Spot means bursting. That this transcendental sound has the power to burst into one's consciousness and reveal. Yasya deve prabhakti yata deve tatagaro Tasyaite katita artha. Katita means what is spoken, and artha means the object. Katita artha prakashante mahatmana. In that atma, in that heart which is maha, which is great, which is purified, which is expanded, which is ekagrata. Then there is a prakashante. The actual artha, the actual object, is manifested in the heart, which is katit, which has been spoken by Sri Guru. Understand? This is what Krishna and Arjuna are discussing in the very last two verses that they speak in Bhagavad Gita. Of course, there are a few more verses spoken by Sanjay. But these are the last two verses of Krishna and Arjuna. So Arjuna says, Smriti Labda, I've attained Smriti. My illusion is gone and now I am illuminated. Therefore, Gata Sandeha, all my doubts have gone. All Sankshaya have gone. Sankhayatma Vinashati. Sankhya is one instability of the mind that causes doubts. So he said, all my doubts have gone. Karisye vachanam tava. Now I am ready to do what you have told me to do. I am ready to serve. So, we are discussing. Jiva Goswami Pad said, when the devotee is hearing about the sweet loving in paripati, the ragatmik paripati, the methods of service of Sri Krishna's associates, then their rag is like Sudakar, the moon. Sudakar means a form of nectar. Their rag is Sudakar, moon. And from that moon, some rays come. They're called Karabhas. They're like the hands. The rays of the moon are the kara, the hands of the illumination of the moon are the hands of the moon. So that Karabhas coming from the moon of the rag of those associates, that ray, it touches the spatik mani, the crystal of the heart, and at that time, that crystal shines. It becomes ulasit. Ulasit means shining. And expanding and joyful. And then when the heart is ulasit, and the person has taste in that ulas, and he engages now in sravanam, kirtanam, smaranam, and all the various angas of bhakti. Guru seva, everything. He engages in all the angas of bhakti, inspired by that ulas. That taste in the ragatmik paripati, then that is called raganuga bhakti. This is Jiva Goswami's explanation. Rupa Goswami Pad has said, Yatra raganavattatvat, Yatra raganavattatvat, pravrichi upajayate, shashanenaiva shastasya, sa vaidhi bhakti uchate. Vaidhi bhakti is defined by two characteristics. One is shashanenaiva shastasya. The scripture gives some discipline. You must do this because you are a conditioned soul in the cycle of birth and death, and you'll be crushed again and again by the time, by your karma. Because you are part and parcel of God, you must serve Him and engage in His service. So that's one aspect of Vaidhi Bhakti, but that is not the main swarup. The main swarup is Yatra Raga Anubhaptatvat. Pravriti Upajayate. The instigation, the pravriti, that which is inspiring us to engage in devotion, it is the person has yatra rag anuvapt. He has not attained rag. Now, of course, someone in this world does not attain rag. So here, rag means ruchi in the rag. Srila Jiva Goswami Pad and Srila Vishwanath Thakur. So a person who has not experienced as an experience, as a realization, ruchi in the rag of those associates, in that kram of realization, then that person, he cannot be inspired by that, so he is inspired by his own logic, reason, and scriptural injunction. But when nata shastra na yuktim cha talobat patilakshanam, when the realization comes, now he's really inspired by the taste in their rag. As a realization, now his intelligence is no longer dependent on his logic and reason and Shastra, this is the symptom that lobe, greed, is awakened. Still, Vishnu Thakur said, even though he is no longer dependent on the injunctions of Shastra for his inspiration, but still he's dependent on Shastra to find out how he can attain that goal for which he has become so greedy. Just like a person who has attained greed. Oh, this milk. Everyone is enjoying milk. It's very delicious. I also want some milk. So then you'll have to learn from someone. Look, first of all, you have to get a cow. After that, you have to manage that the cow should be pregnant. After that, the cow will give birth to a calf. And after that, you can get some milk. So though the intelligence is not dependent on Shastra for the inspiration to engage in bhakti, but still, in the Ragamarg, one has some dependence on scripture to point the way. What do we have to do to attain our goal? Really, actually, not pretend. So, this is just a brief introduction to the actual nature of raganuga bhakti sadhana. Then, how is it practiced? In the stage of ruchi, when a devotee realizes the associates, rucha bhavena nana vikshepavati ragatmik bhakti shaili nabijanati. Jiva Goswami Pad said, in the absence of ruchi, then there'll be nana vikshep, different types of distraction. The mind is not steady. In the absence of ruchi, the mind will flit here and there when trying to chant and remember. And in that state of vikshep, ragatmik bhakti shaili nabijanati, one cannot know, one cannot understand what the methods of service are of the associates, the ragatmik associates. So ruchi is necessary. Some realization of those associates is necessary. Then you can Krishnam smaram janam chasya prastam nija samihitam tatat katar chaschaso kuryad basam braje sada. Remember Krishna along with the associate, but focus on mainly the associate. Bhattaji was saying today that the chitta has this quality that whatever it's focused on, it becomes like that. That quality is called samapati. Just like a yogi. Yogi can meditate on air and his chitta becomes like air, then he starts to levitate. This is through samapati, the yogis get the mystic powers from various elements, and because the chitta has this nature, whatever you focus on, it becomes like that. So kita pesa skrita rudha kudayam tamanusparam sambrambhabaya yogena vindate tatsarupatam. Jiva Goswami gives this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam to explain Raganuga Bhakti. Just like one telkata, one type of worm is trapped in a hole in sandstone, and one bringi, a wasp, has come and trapped, and he's trying to get that small insect. So the insect is trapped and the big wasp is there. All he can hear is he's totally absorbed in that wasp and the vibration of that wasp. And then what happens? Vindate tatsurupatam. By absorption in the bringi, then that kita, that insect transforms and he himself becomes a bringi. He becomes a bringi. I remember Gurudev wrote about this in one book and he gave me to translate. I was translating. I thought, this is amazing. But how does that work biologically? I have to investigate it. So I looked up all the insects. And I'm just telling you this now, just in case you have a doubt in future. So you never have a doubt. So actually the wasp, according to the biologist, he stings the worm, the insect, and lays his egg inside. And so then when the egg hatches, so it looks to the eye, to the ordinary person, it looks as if that now another wasp comes out of the hole, that the worm has turned into a wasp. So this is the biological explanation. But anyway, don't worry about that. This is the way it's described in Shastra, This is called a kavi pradukti. Kavi bi iditam kalmasapaham. Kavis, poets, they say so many things which are actually not true. It's a kavi pradukti, a very bold statement of the poet. Just like the mixture of milk and water. How can you say, oh, but a swan can say, but try it, do an experiment. Get some milk and water, bring a swan and see. At least not on this planet, they cannot do it. So don't say, oh no, all the Vedas are wrong. You have to understand what the Vedas are saying. This is called kavi pradukti. That's why the gopis say that, oh Krishna, tavakatamritam tapta jivanam kavibir iditam. The poets say that your harikatha is amrit, so like nectar. But kavis, they always tell lies. They do kavi pradukti. They make bold statements that are not true. So we know your katha, talk about you, is not amrita. Tava katha, mrita. It is like death. Because we did the experiment. We heard that your katha was like nectar. So we listened to it. But when we listen to it, now we feel like we will die. Because you have abandoned us in the forest in the middle of the night. And now we are suffering so much. So kavibi iditam. Gopis are saying, the kavis, they always tell such things. Oh, the king, he was as strong as Hanuman. No, he wasn't. He couldn't pick up a mountain from the Himalayas and fly through the sky with it in one hand. But the poets, they can say, so it's called kavi pradukti. So don't worry about that. The principle here is that by absorption in something, then you become like that. So first, Rupa Goswami, it's amazing. Raganuga bhakti is a big subject. There's so much confusion. Rupa Goswami explained Raganuga Bhakti Sadhana in only 2 verses. 2. That's it. But he told everything in those 2 verses. Only we have to understand them properly. So first he said, Krishnam smaram janam chasya prastam nija samihitam. Remember Krishna with an associate whom you desire to serve in their wake, following like them. Be absorbed in that associate. Tat tat kata rachascha. So here, the kata of that associate and their service to Sri Krishna, Kuryat basam brajay sada, and reside here in Braja. If not physically, then by mind. So what does it mean? If the person, he's in the stage of ruchi, he's remembering the associate and seeing that associate in his heart, being absorbed in that associate, his chitta transforms and becomes like that associate. Then the next verse comes. Asakti. Seva sadaka rupena siddha rupena chatrahi. Pujapad Sri Achutal Bhatta Goswami ki jai. So, seva sadaka rupena siddha rupena chatrahi. Tadbhavalipsana karya brajalokanasarata. Then outwardly one serves in the sadak form. Don't forget that. Don't forget, service in sadak form is also important. Just like our Goswamis. Jiva Goswami, he collected so many granthas from everywhere and made a library. Our Goswamis, Rupa Goswami, he used to arrange for all the pilgrims who are coming, Gaudiya pilgrims who are coming to Braj, make arrangements for them that they could stay in Braj and do parikrama, have sadhu sangha, like this. Sri Chaitanya manobishtam starpitam yena bhutale. Discovering the lost deities, and revealing the lost holy places. Bhakti Grantha Pranayana, composing the Bhakti Shastras. And the Sadacha Stapana, establishing proper etiquette and behavior for devotees. So don't forget, Sadhaka Rupena, Seva Sadhaka Rupena, that has to be done. And also, Siddha Rupena Chatrahi, when there is the Avirbhav, Chintamoy, Siddhadeha, manifests inside, in the stage of Asakti. In the stage of Asakti, there is the Abhas of Bhav, is appearing in the heart. And establishing one's Abhiman fully In that Siddha Deha, then that Bhava Abhas in the stage of Asakti turns into actual Shuddha Sattva Visheshatma Prema Suryangsu Samyabhak Ruchibist Tamasanya Kridasa Bhava Ujate. So this is some of the theory of Raganuga Bhakti. So now we're coming to see Radha-rasa-sudha-nidhi. Our festival is only for 7 days. And there are hundreds of verses in Radha-rasa-sudha-nidhi. Prana kande mana kande kandi duyanki yahaya kan mane pore takanta hileke. Just like Jagannananda Pandit said, my eyes are crying, my prana is crying. Whatever comes in my mind, I will speak that. Without any crumb. So I'm just selecting a verse because a few days ago, all the devotees celebrated Holi. It was very wonderful. Punrik Goswami Maharaj, he distributed the flowers to everyone. Then he wanted to sing a song and explain it to get everyone into the spirit of Holi before we throw the flowers. However, it didn't work out like that. And before he could explain himself, everyone just started fighting. So, just retroactively, I want to explain something about the mood of Holi and other related pastimes as they are mentioned in Radha-rasa-sudha-nidhi. So we're coming to this verse. It's a 141. Aho bhuvana mohanam madhura madhavi mandape madutsava samutsukam kimapi nilapita chabhi vidagdamitanam mito didata anurago lasan madam madhyayate kada chirataram madhyamana. Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Pad is saying, Aho! Is the interjection of surprise and great longing. Aho! This couple, Radha and Krishna, they enchant the whole world. Bhuvana Mohanam. They enchant the whole world. And they are very eager to play in the Madhutsava. Madhu Utsav. So Madhu Utsav can mean two things. One is Madhupan Lila. And the other Madhu Utsav is the springtime pastime of Holi. When they are very eager to play in this Madhutsava, at that time, Kimapi. What is that? It's something indescribable. Nila Pita Chabi. The bluish luster of Sri Krishna and the golden luster of Radhika mixed together. So beautiful. Udva Moolam Adahasakam Ashwatam Prabhu Avriyam. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna said, there's a tree with the roots up and the branches down. That means reflection. This world is a reflection of the spiritual world. Srishti Sthiti Pralaya Sadhana Shakti Reka Chayeva Yasta Bhuvanani Vibhaktita. This world is a reflection of the spiritual world. But it is a Vikrita Tuchta Pratifalan. Vikrita, distorted, Tuchta, insignificant Pratifalan. An insignificant, distorted reflection of the beauty of the spiritual world. But still, there's some similarity. So everywhere you go, you see forest. It's green. Why is it green? Because when Radha and Krishna meet in the forest, the bluish hue of Sri Krishna spreads everywhere. The golden hue of Radhika spreads everywhere. And blue and gold mixed together makes green. So everywhere you see green, just remember the meeting of Radha and Krishna. How beautiful they look at that time. Mita Dhritatara. Their mutual, very firm anurag for each other. Madam dayate kada chirataram madhyamana. When will that beautiful anurag of Radha and Krishna quickly intoxicate my mind at that time where they're meeting for the Madhutsava? Our Srila Rupa Goswami Pad has this Seva Abhilas. Pramada Madana Yudha Sam Ramba Sambhavu Kavyam Pramudita Hridayabhyam Hanta Brindavanesho Kimahamiya Yuvabhyam Panalilun Mukabhyam Chasakam Upaharisye Sadhu Madvikapurnam. The vine, the creeper of Srila Rupa Goswami Pad's Seva Abhilas, desires to serve Radha Krishna, is such that on that creeper there's one desire. Pramadam Yudha Ramba Sambhava Kabhyam. See, Radha Krishna have come together in a beautiful kunj of Vrindavan. And they are very eager to engage in the Yudha, war. What kind of war? Surata Samara Bheri. Surata Samar. Loving battle. Battle of love. But at the beginning, at first, then Panalilun Mukabhyam. They think, first we should drink some honey wine. So Srila Rupa Goswami is thinking, seeing that expression on the face of Srimati Radhika and Sri Krishna, they're eager to play together, but they're thinking, first we should drink some honey wine. Then Brinda Devi has prepared the chasaka, a very beautiful golden goblet filled with fragrant honey wine from the forest. And then Rupa Manjari, detecting the desire in the heart of Radhika. Sri Ishwari Drishtivagadi Sarvingita Vichakshanam. This is the characteristics of the kinkaris of Radhika. That all of Radhika's words and gestures, Sarvingita Vichakshanam, they're expert at reading them. So then Rupa Goswami's part saying, when will I then take up the golden goblet of honey wine and place it before Radha and Krishna? Very beautiful service. This pastime of the Madhu Utsav is so sweet. See, Krishna takes the goblet and he is about to drink. And he looks and he sees the face of Radharani reflected in the surface of the Madhu. Then he already becomes intoxicated. Even before drinking, only seeing the reflection of Radhika's face in the Madhu. And then Krishna takes and... But actually, in Prem, there is what? Chal, cheating. Apahas, teasing. Competition, the sparda. All these things. So Krishna is cheating. He pretends to drink some and then passes the goblet to Radhika. The Radhika is very simple. So then she takes it and she drinks. Now it becomes fragrant with her, the touch of her lips. Then Krishna is very eager to taste. Then see Krishna, he'll take, but just only, he goes like this, but only takes a little bit. And then Radhika takes it. And Krishna is encouraging, oh, take more, take more, take more. So Krishna is staying somewhat sober, but making Radhika become more and more intoxicated. After some time, Radhika is sitting in the lap of Krishna and falling out of his lap. Oh, come on. Slipping from the lap of Krishna. She says, Kim kikim dadarani gugugurnitayam. Dad dhavati bayad vivriksha punja. Bid bubera aham atra katam jijiva. Mevam lagishyati yadada tasya kante. She's saying, oh Krishna, kim kikim dadarani gugugurnitayam. Now she's drunk. It's very difficult to speak. So she has so many extra pralap, extra syllables. Kating kikim, dharani, gugu gurnitayam. Oh Krishna, why is the world spinning around? Hmm? The Dhavati. She looks in the forest. Why are the trees running away in fear? The trees, she thinks the trees are running away out of fear. I'm afraid, Krishna. Katham jivami. How will I stay alive? Evam lagishati yada daitasya kante. When will I? This is Srila Vishwanath Thakur's Seva Abhilas. When, after serving the Madhu, will I see Radhika slipping from Krishna's lap, describing all her visions, and then tightly holding on to Krishna to be saved? How will I save my life? Huh? So beautiful. Hearing these things, the devotee was having the spurti, seeing this in his heart. Then he thinks, this ragatmik paripati is so beautiful. The spatik mani, the crystal of his heart becomes utlasit with the karabas of the raga-sudakar. Then he wants to hear and chant and realize that, enter and serve in that way. That is called raganuga. Pramadamada yunda ramba sambhavu kavyam. Radha and Krishna become intoxicated and they play together. But Radhika, she has so much suridrati. That means love for her friend, Lalita. So then she says to Sri Krishna, Karoti nadam murali rali. Brajangananam matranam tanam. Tato viduna bhajate jate. Hare bhavantam lalita. This is the nature when intoxication comes. Then from the lotus lips of Radhika, very beautiful syllables, they come repeated unnecessarily. This is called the pralap, useless syllables. She said, Karoti nadam murali rali. Murali rali. Oh Krishna, when you play on your murali, on your flute, at that time, brajangananam, hridayam, rin, matranam, tanam. It churns the hearts of all the brajangana, all the beautiful gopis. Tato viduna lalate, bhajate jate. Hare bhavantam lalita. Lalita is very much afflicted. Why don't you go and cure the affliction of Lalita Sakhi? In this way, Yadyapi Sakira Krishna Sangam Nahiman Tatapi Radhika Yatna Karna Sangam. Even though the Sakhis, they don't have any desire to meet themselves with Sri Krishna. But Radharani, she makes so many efforts to arrange their meeting. Nana Cheli Radha Preri Krishna na Karai Atma Krishna Sangha Hoite Koti Sukha Pai. Nana Chale pray. She inspires them on the basis of chal, deception. Radharani deceives her Sakhis in so many ways and makes them meet with Krishna. And when Radhika's Sakhis meet with Krishna, Radhika feels Koti Sukha Pai, 10 million times more happiness than her own meeting with Sri Krishna. Anyonye Vishuddha Prem Kari Rasa Pushta Tasapara Prema Deki Krishna Hoya Tushta. It's amazing. When Krishna sees The Sakhis want to arrange Radhika to meet with me. Radhika wants to arrange the Sakhis with me. When Krishna sees the Anyonye Vishuddha Prem, the pure love between Radhika and all her Sakhis, seeing that the rasa is nourished, and Krishna hoy tushta, Krishna becomes completely satisfied. This is something amazing. So this is called Madhutsava. The Madhupan Lila, drinking Madhu. The motivation of one of the motivations of Krishna behind this, he's rasik. So whatever he does, he fulfills many, many objectives, all at the same time. So one of the objectives is this. When Braja Gopis speak, they don't openly express what they mean. They will not openly express. Only if they come in the stage of unmad. If they become in unmad, then what they feel may just come out. Sinchanga nastva dararamrita purakena. Hasavaloka kalagicha tarichayagnim. In unmad, Radharani may say, oh, there is a fire in my heart, Krishna, that your smile and your flute have ignited. So you preach to us about Dharma. So Dharma is this. If someone, by accident, lights a fire in someone's house, and this fire starts to spread, it's their responsibility to put that fire out. So you preach to us about Dharma. So you have lit this fire, and so you have to put it out. And this fire is such vast. It's such a vast fire that it can only be extinguished with a flood of your Adaramrita. Actually, quite shameless to speak like this. But in the stage of Unmad, it may be possible, but otherwise not. Always the gopis' words are expressed with some covering. Avahita bhav. When there's some covering, then the words are more beautiful. Just like a naika, a heroine, she may be beautiful, but naked not so beautiful. If she's covered with a very fine cloth, she's wearing very fine cloth, very thin, and the beauty is peeping through that cloth, then it's more amazing. So in the same way, the Braj Gopis, they speak to Krishna in such a way that their intention is covered by the veil of Avahita Bhav. But because see, Krishna is rasik, he can relish it. So, but just because Krishna is the rasik, and just because Krishna, he can relish those words of gopis which are covered with the veil of Avahita Bhav, that does not mean that sometimes he does not want to see it unveiled. The words, shameless words. So when that desire comes, oh, today I want to hear the direct words, then Krishna thinks, Madhupan Lila. Because I know you have no experience of this, but I have heard from others that if a person starts to drink, then the lock, the security, the password on the tongue, it becomes unlocked. And now whatever is there is just expressed directly. The lock comes off the tongue and it's expressed directly. So when Krishna, who is very rasik, sometimes he wants to hear the direct expression. This is why the Madhupan Lila is there, and Radhika and Gopis become unmad. And then they speak, and Krishna relishes their sweet, direct words. So this is Madhupan Lila. Now I'm coming to the other meaning of Madhu Utsav. The other meaning of Madhu Utsav is holy. Holy Lila takes place in this springtime. It's a joyful festival. All male persons and female persons, small children, grown persons, young people, and even old people, everyone feels a joy in the holy festival. So, on the main Holi is our Gorpanim Falgun Punima. So in Braja, it came to that evening of the Falgun Purnima. The moon rose in the sky, and seeing this, then all the Braj Gopis, they became very eager to play Holi. They were all decorated in most beautiful sringar and the abharan. And they're carrying their pitchkari, their syringes for squirting fragrant water. They're carrying so many, grenade. In the war, they have a grenade. You throw it and... So they have these small containers of lac, very soft, and inside that's full of parag, fragrant lotus pollen. So they tie them to their belts. And when the Holi breaks out, they can throw it, and when it hits the target, then big cloud of lotus pollen goes everywhere. So they have all their ammunition for this Holi Yudha, the battle of Holi. And they are full of the garva, pride. Pride is a bad thing. But garva, the Sanchari Bhav, is very good. They have a pride in their pranay with Krishna. Whatever happens, Krishna cannot give me up. This garva. Whatever happens, Krishna cannot give me up. So all the gopis from all over Braj, they came out of their houses from all different directions. And there was a beating of drums. Nafari, chang, dap, dhol, mridanga. There are so many different types of drums. All the drums were beating. And they were singing songs, love songs, humorous songs. Now, in the village of Braj, there's a gateway. And just outside the gateway, there's the place where they have the Holika bonfire. The bonfire, Holika, it's just outside the gates. And then in front of that, there's a big area, big courtyard area, and that is the ranga, the arena of the Holi Yudha. So all the gopis now, they come. They have, in the army, you have the king, you have the generals, you have the lieutenants, the colonels, the captains, the privates. When will I be there as one private only? The lowest rank in the army of Srimati Radhika. So this whole army of Radhika, they came out from the gate and they gave pranam at the Holika bonfire place. It had already taken place. They gave pranam at that place and then they came onto the arena. So at that time, the cowherd boys all over Braj, they could hear the uproar, the beating of the drums, the singing of the gopis. It indicated that there were so many of them. And then they felt some doubts. Because if the army is very big and powerful, making so much noise before the battle, the reason the army does that is to strike fear into the other side. But the cowherd boys, they don't show anything. They look at each other and give each other reassurance. Subal, Madhu Mangal, Dham, Vasudhama, and others, Ujwal, they look at each other. We can defeat them. We can do it. They give each other reassurance. So they steadied their mind, and all the cowherd boys from wherever they were, they came together in their formation with Sri Krishna, and they came out of the gate of Braja. They also, because it's the custom, they gave pranam at the place of the Holika fire, and then they came on, gopis on this side, and gopas came on this side, and they made their formation there. Then Krishna, Balaram, and all the cowherd boys, they all began to play their instruments and made a loud sound. Now, this happens always before a battle. The two sides blow their horns and beat their drums. So at that time, when they were showing their pride, then the gopis, they spread out. And the cowherd boys saw the gopis. There's so many, and they're coming all around us. And they became struck with wonder. So then, at that time, the Sakhis of Radhika, they kept one throne there. And they set Radhika on the throne as the empress. The Akhanda Samrat, unchallenged, undisputed empress of the world. And Radhika sat on the throne, and her Sakis, they took chamar, white chamar, and white umbrella with jewels above her head. These are the insignia of the emperor. There may be so many kings, but only the emperor can have the white chamar and the white chatra. So the coward boys on the other side, they bring a throne and sit Krishna on the throne, and they have their chamar and their white chatra also. So now, if you cannot have two persons in the same planet claiming to be, I am the emperor of the world. It must lead to some conflict. Or one side can peacefully accept subordination to the other side, and then the conflict can be avoided. So, go inside the feeling of this Holi. Holi is a mock war, play war between Sri Krishna and his Sakhas and Radhika and her Sakhis. Krishna and Radhika play like kings, king and queen of separate kingdoms. And their Sakhas and Sakhis, they play as generals and various positions and ambassadors. So, in this world, this is like the world of politics. So, in the art of diplomacy, there are 4 upai, 4 methods. Sam, dam, bhed, and danda. So, the first one is sam. Sam means to make reconciliation, make alliances. The kings, they used to, someone would offer his daughter to marry the other king's son, like this. They would make alliances and it would solve the problem. In some, you have to open the diplomatic channels and use persuasion, use reasoning. So when a conflict arises, when there's a difference of opinion, the first step is to negotiate and make alliance. Then, if that's not going very well, then the next step is dan, to give some gift, or dam. It can be dan or dam, both. Dan means to give some wealth, and dam means the price that you pay for peace. So some wealth is offered, and then the other person said, all right, we'll accept it. You can be the king. We'll not go to war. We are satisfied. Then the next one is bhed. Bhed means creating doubt and dissension and conflict within the other party. Bhed means separating. Because in every state, in every country, there are some fault lines. There are some factions there who are collaborating, but their relationship is somewhat tenuous. So if you can provoke the fault lines and turn the groups within the other side against each other, then that side becomes weak. So, in this bhed, no options are off the table. It is a battle of wits. It is a battle of subversion and espionage and secret agents and double agents and triple agents until everyone is cheating everyone else and no one knows who to trust. It gets very complicated. Because the thing is that when two sides come together and they begin negotiation, it often happens that the side is making a show of goodwill, but they have another plan. Right? One side or both sides, oh yes, we respect you, let's have a negotiation. But actually they have a plan to get the upper hand on the other person. So, they're watching each other carefully. If one side detects that the other side is actually cheating me, then the Cold War becomes hot war. Cold War becomes hot war, and then the 4th upai comes danda, the threat of weapons, and actually engaging in a direct conflict. So when the Cold War becomes hot, then ho, 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 holiday Russia. Okay. Not yet. Don't start throwing it. We don't want to repeat of the previous experience. So, actually, what is this Holi? Radha and Krishna, they are relishing the nectar of Madhurasa in the guise of displaying the expertise in the arts of diplomacy and statecraft. But this is all Prem Vilas. Stotram yatra tatastatam prakatayats chittasya datebyatam nindapi pramadam prayachati parihasa sriyam bibrati doshe nashaitam gunaina gurutam kenapinatanvati premna swara sikasya kasyatidayam vikridati prakriya. This is the vikridati prakriya, the method, the play of love. That instead of saying, I love you, there is quarrel, pretense, and deception. All of these things. And it's manifest in a beautiful way. They're playing the games of diplomacy, but really everything is the indirect expression of love. Raso gupta eva rasatvam apadyate. Vallabhacharya, in his Subodhini Tika. Raso gupta eva rasatvam apadyate. When the rasa is hidden, then it becomes most relishable. This is the essence of the Holi. So then, Radhika's army is here. She is the empress, and Krishna's army is here. He is the emperor there. Of the two sides, in this situation, Radhika's side is the first to make a move. Now, Nanda Maharaj, he has one Purohit, a priest. And that priest has a wife. And his wife's mother has a younger brother. And that younger brother's wife, she was there. Just little Sambandha Gyan. So, she's a middle-aged woman. You know, in a Yudha is not all Sakis. Rupa Goswami in Radha Krishna Ganadesha Deepika, he describes who is in a Yudha. So there is Vayasya, Sakis, same age. But then there's Dut and the Dasi. So, although there are Duti and Dasis among the Sakis, the Vayasya, but there's a separate category of Dut and Dasi. They're not among the Sakis. And some of them are older persons, younger persons, but they're also considered part of the Yudha. They're not always there. But in the Yudha of Radhika, there's this Ardhavriddha. That means a middle-aged woman related in the way we have just described. So actually, without taking permission from anyone, without discussing with anyone, she just came into the middle of the two armies like a tempest. And she said, I know all subjects very well. I am a buddhimati pandita, a very intelligent scholar. And because of this, I have attained the eminent position of being the messenger, of being the ambassador, the envoy of the great empress, Shrimati Radhika. Vrindavaneshwari Shrimati Radhika. And therefore I have been entrusted to deliver to you this message. Tad etad avadaryatam. Tad etad avadaryatam. Now listen to it very carefully. Tad etad avadaryatam. Listen to this message very, very attentively. As soon as she said that, Madhu Mangal was hee. Kimuktam avadaryatam, kimuktam avadaryatam. What do you say we have to listen to? What did you say? He's acting like a deaf person, making everyone laugh. Because she came very seriously. But Madhu Mangal is a vidushak, joker. Kimuktam avadaryatam. What did you say we have to listen to? The messenger, all the coward boys began to laugh at her when she was trying to be serious. So she said, yes, I see that your assembly seems to be deaf. But listen to me, I have something to say. So then Krishna Krishna was very gambhir, inscrutable. What is going on inside, you cannot tell from the outside. This is the meaning of gambhir. Krishna said, "O respected one, you freely make your request as your desire and tell us, what is the order of your most honorable Majesty, the Queen?" That means, what is Radhika's message? Then the messenger, that Ardhabhrita, middle-aged woman, she said, "Our Queen Radhika has given this special order." And then she quickly held her ears and Vishnu, Vishnu, Vishnu. Because she realized she made a mistake. She didn't want to say that Radhika has given an order. So then she corrected herself. She said, the Pradhan Mantri of our Empress, that is Lalita, she has given this message. The message is this: why are you keeping the white umbrella and the parasol and the white chamar and all the insignia of the emperor, undisputed emperor? Even to carry these things and use them far away is an insult to our Empress, Vrindavaneshwari, Shrimati Radhika. What do you have to say about this? Answer. Give an answer for yourself. When Krishna heard this, he was laughing. All the Sakas were laughing. This is a bit like the pastime when, this Poundrak Vasudev sent one messenger to the Yadus. They said, "Hey, you have to give up all the insignia of the emperor." Like that, but 1,000,000 times more sweet. So all the coward boys and Krishna, they were laughing. So then Krishna said, "Look, on her request, I can give up the umbrella and I can give up the chamara. But according to Shastra, it should not be given up without battle first. To give up without a battle would be against the Vedas. Therefore, put on your armor and be ready for battle." Bas, this is the news. Go and tell her. Now, it often happens that if there's a king, the king has some rajas. King has some rajagun. And this is why a king can overreact and become emotional due to passion and can just impetuously escalate a conflict, unnecessary, without looking at other options. And this is why every king, he has to have his Brahmin ministers. The Brahmin ministers, they are very calm and very judicious. And they can give wise advice to the king and suggest some more favorable alternatives. So in this case, King Shyamasundar, he has a ruthlessly cunning and genius Pradhan Mantri, Madhumangal. Madhumangal came to Krishna and said in his ear, "Your Majesty." The minister always has the ear of the king. "Your Majesty, you're independent. But please, you listen to my words. After that, make up your mind. What caste are these women? And they're carrying weapons. Right? Actually, only Kshatriyas can carry weapons. So Lord Ram, if you saw someone not a Kshatriya carrying a weapon, what then? He would punish them because it's Maryada. So Madhumangal said, "Look, what caste are they? And they're carrying weapons, so they are dishonest persons. So when dealing with dishonest persons, then you should not be straightforward. Don't be straightforward. Krishna, give up your straightforwardness." Because Krishna is famous for being straightforward, Every word is the Rasapurna. "Krishna, please, just this one time. Give up your straightforwardness. And instead of acting rashly, engage me as your messenger. You send me to the camp of the rival. And I will go there and make some negotiation. Then we'll decide what to do, because I am expert. I am a complete pandit in all politics and diplomacy, statecraft, negotiation. I know it so deeply. Trust me, Krishna. Send me to the other camp. The female messenger overheard, oh, you are COVID. You're COVID, you're expert. If you're expert, then where in the world will be able to locate a fool? Huh? If you're the expert, then who in this world is left over to be a fool? Madhumangal laughed. He just brushed it off. Hey, Jalpaki? Jalpaki means female person who just talks nonsense. Oh, Jalpaki, in your own court, in your own circle of associates, you are Bindu. Bindu means Bigyata. Bigyata. One who is learned. You are learned in your own assembly. You are Bindu. But I am Vedamurti. I am like the shining sun of the Vedas. So a Bindu, that is a drop of water, cannot stand in the presence of Vedamurti Surya like myself. You just evaporate in front of me. Eh? So don't try to make a show of your learning. So then Madhumangal, he said to Krishna, hey Rajan, O king, I am the prominent one among all intelligentsia. Let me go there. I'll find out their plan. And after understanding the intentions of their queen, I'll return. So while I'm gone, you keep this messenger here. Keep this Ardhabrida, you keep her here while I'm gone. Don't let her go. Don't release her until I come back. So then, that messenger from Radhika's side, she said, hey Rajan, Krishna, just see, even before the battle, your messenger is afraid, filled with anxiety. And this spoils your reputation. Why is that? Because it is said that the followers have the same quality as their leader. So if the follower is afraid, it indicates that the leader is afraid. And she's also indicating that he's saying, I want to go and negotiate there, but the real reason is he thinks this is the dhwani. What she's saying. The real thing is this, that he thinks that your side cannot win. So he wants to change sides before the battle starts. She's saying, now what is she doing? This is bait. She's trying to get in between Krishna and Madhumangal and separate them. Do bait, make dissension on Krishna's side. So it was a double insult. One, about the Madhumangal's intentions, and two, insulting Krishna, that it indicates Krishna is afraid. So then Madhumangal said, hey Maharaj, these gopis, they have bhamata. They have contrariness. But their bhamata, their contrariness is completely useless. Why? Because they are abala. They have no strength. You know, if there's a situation, some situation comes, and one woman say, no, it's not like this. Then there are some men, they don't care. Because they'll do what they want. She cannot stop them. So what's the use of bhamata, the contrary mood, if you have only, we say in English, impotent rage? You're upset, but you cannot do anything about it. So Madhumangal said, their bhamata is useless because they're abala. Abala, they have no strength. Then that messenger who had come from Radhika's side, she said, no, the gopis are not abala, they are sabala. Why? Because the whole body of the gopis is the shastramoy sharir. Shastramoy sharir, that means their bodies are full of weapons. Krishna said, what? Can you explain? That messenger said, I cannot explain every gopi. I'll just explain Srimati Radhika. And by that you can, by upalakshan, by associate, you can understand about the other gopis. First of all, that messenger said, look, Radhika's kesh is the pash astra, the noose weapon. You know, you can catch someone in a noose. So the curls of Radhika, this is the pash astra, the noose weapon. Her two eyes, they are the ban, arrows. Her curved eyebrows are the dhanush, bows. Her earrings are chakras, two chakras. Her nose is a shining knife. And all her teeth, there are so many vajra, thunderbolt weapons. In this way, Radhika is the Shastramay Sharir. Krishna is hearing this. Wow. So then, very proudly, that messenger said, then who is more powerful than my empress, Srimati Radhika? And she looked at Krishna with a dismissive glance. Oh, you are nowhere. Against all of these weapons, you cannot compete. So in this way, Krishna, in his heart, he was already relishing the anticipation of meeting with Srimati Radhika. So then, Madhu Mangal and that messenger, they were arguing a little bit. Then Krishna said, don't be afraid. To the messenger, you don't be afraid, you just stay here. Madhu Mangal, you should go. And when he returns, that you can also go. You stay with us. And when the intentions of both sides have been understood, then we can take the appropriate action. So Krishna told Madhu Mangal, yes, now you go. In person, you go there. Madhu Mangal folded his hands. He said, as you order me, oh, Maha Anubhav Maharaj. Maha Anubhav Maharaj with great realization. So then Madhu Mangal, he went through the no man's land in the middle, the neutral ground in the middle. When he arrived there, Brahmanas come, so Braj Gopis, they give pranams and smiling. And they asked Madhu Mangal, oh, why have you come? Why have you come here? Madhu Mangal said, my main purpose in coming here is to see you dance. What does it mean? I want to see you dance. Madhu Mangal said, one of your messengers came into our assembly, and there she announced, our Maharani wants to meet with your Sarvabhauma. Huh? Did the messenger say this? Completely opposite. Our Maharani wants to meet with your Sarvabhauma. How submissive. Sarvabhauma means the emperor of the whole. Our queen wants to meet with your emperor of the whole world. What? Then Madhu Mangal says, and when our Sarvabhauma heard this, he was very surprised. And he gave this reply. He said, we cannot put any faith in a Milan with your Maharani. Why? Because we have heard some rumors that she has some connection with another Purush. This is, if someone you know what he said, the wife of Caesar is above suspicion. So to make allegation against the queen is very heavy. He said, my king, when he heard this, he said, no, we don't want any Milan because we heard some rumors that your queen has a relation with another Purush. And therefore, what we want to do is this. If your queen has any sister, then she can offer her sister in marriage to one of the members of our side. And then this relationship will be auspicious for her and we can make an alliance. When all the Sakis heard this, they became disturbed. They were thinking, what does he mean? Because now there are so many possibilities. Madhumangal is sowing the seeds of doubt and confusion. First of all, one, did that messenger really say this or not? Because they don't know what the messenger has said. This is called, in game theory, the Byzantine general's problem. You know? There are generals on the army and a messenger is sent. But how do they know that the messenger is really loyal to this side or to that side? And what messenger went there? How can they solve it? So Madhumangal has made this doubt. So first they thought, did the messenger really say this? Secondly, if she did say this, was the messenger acting independently or was that really the message that Radharani told to say? Or not? Then the next thing is, Madhumangal's coming here. If that message was sent, was this really Krishna's response or not? Did Krishna really reply in that way? You see how the situation starts to get complicated? Diplomacy is very complicated. The next thing is, now, if Radharani will deny the rumor, no, I have no relation with another Purush, that's the same as declaring her devotion to Krishna, her subordination to Krishna, which is exactly what they're trying not to do. But if she doesn't defend her position, then this is a great insult and ill fame. So Madhumangal came, he's so intelligent, he set such a trap. Such a trap every way, whichever way you choose, catch 22. So all the gopis, they're talking to each other and thinking, what is it? This is the meaning. Now Madhumangal's looking and smiling. Because why did he say he came? I came to see you dance. This is the dance. All this confusion and discussion. All the Sakis, they raise their eyebrows. Oh, this dude, Madhumangal, he's so expert and he's completely devious. His words are the opposite of his intentions, and I know he's come here to cheat with us. How could Krishna say such terrible things? We cannot believe it. How could our messenger betray us? It cannot be true. So then Vishaka is very steady. When there's an emergency, a crisis, then you have to turn to Vishaka. Is it correct? Yes. Lalita is somewhat impetuous and temperamental. She can lose the composure in a crisis, but Vishaka will be there then. Out of love for Radharani, understand? Out of love for Radharani. This is not a fault, it's the intensity. So then Vishaka, she announced, this Brahmin is speaking independently, according to his own desire. Krishna did not say any of these things. Madhumangal said, look, why you accuse me of lying? What benefit would I get from this? In diplomacy, this is, when anything happens, the first thing you have to ask is, cui bono? You know, cui bono? That's the Roman statesman, Cicero. He said, when there's a situation, don't believe what anyone is saying. Just think, who benefits from this situation? Right? So Madhumangal is saying, what benefit do I get from this? This means, I have no benefit from this, so I have no incentive to lie, so my words must be true. This is what he's saying. So then Vishaka said, Aye Bhadra, oh good Brahmin, we will investigate your deception. Madhumangal said, look, I never deceive anyone. I don't have this fault of cheating. Because I am a person who removes all obstacles to reconciliation. I have complete control of my mind. I have complete control over my senses. And I always preach the path of dharma, righteousness. But although I have proposed the path to peace, that means one sister or some relative of your queen should marry one of our persons from our side. I propose the path to peace, but you misunderstand my words and think this is a provocation for war. So then Radharani said, oh, tell me, how powerful is your king? You are so proud, so your king must be powerful. Tell me, how powerful is he? Madhu Mangal said, hey Sumukhi, oh princess with a beautiful face, listen to this. If the songs of Krishna's qualities spread here and there, it makes everyone forget their duties. Right? I know many of you, you have good education, you have good jobs, everything, but now you have left everything. Why? Because tava katamritam tapta jivanam. Yadanu charita lila karna piyusavi prut sakritarita viduta dhanvatama vinashta. If one drop of Harikatha will go in the ear, then what happens? Your dedication to the dualities of this world, vinasht, lost. Sapati griha kutumbam deman utsitra dhina bahavo hi avihanga bhikshucharyam charanti. Then immediately you leave your family, you leave your home, and they are crying, and you are looking everywhere for Krishna, wandering like a homeless bird, living like a beggar, and you are crying. Your family are crying because they lost you, and you are crying because you cannot find Krishna. Harikatha is very dangerous. So Madhu Mangali said, if someone just hears about the qualities of my king, then, he forgets everything. He can attract everyone by the sound of his flute. His beauty agitates everyone's heart. His pastimes cause even Lakshmi Devi to become stunned. Saundaryam lalalali darya dalanam lilas ramastambini. Lakshmi becomes stunned even, the goddess, hearing his pastimes. So Madhu Mangal said, so you can tell me who is more powerful than my Krishna? Now what happens? When the Radharani hears this, she's trembling. Just as Krishna heard from the duty about Radhika Shastramai Sharir, and he was trembling with eagerness to meet with Radhika, now Radhika is trembling with eagerness to meet with Krishna. This is the duty karya, the duty of a duty. It's a tongue twister. But the duty of a duty, in how to increase. Prema lila viharanam samyak vistarika sakhi. How to increase their love for each other. So then Madhu Mangal said, my Krishna, my Bhupati, my emperor, he is so beautiful that if anyone associates with him, then they get a viparita kanti. Anyone comes close to his effulgence, then everything changes and becomes opposite. When Lalita Saki heard this, she said, yes, it's true. Oh, look, Radhika. Krishna has a Bangsi. This Bangsi is Gungi Bihari. Gungi Bahari. That means dumb, mute, and deaf. The flute is bamboo, he's mute and deaf. But by the touch of Krishna's lips, he becomes so eloquent, so talkative. And also, a Brahmin is from a pure dynasty, very high class, and they always speak the truth. She left it like that. And what does it mean? In this way, Lalita Saki is using the words of Madhu Mangal himself to insult him. Madhu Mangal says, who's close to Krishna, everything becomes viparita. So Lalita said, the Brahmins are very high class and they always speak the truth. That means this Madhu Mangal, by being close to Krishna, he became low class and always telling lies. This is the Dhwani. I'm explaining it. The Rasik Vaishnavas, they only hear Lalita say, oh, yes, everything is viparita. And Brahmins are high class and always tell the truth. This. And then the Dhwani comes in the heart. How Lalita is expert in insulting Madhu Mangal using his own words. So then, Lalita privately spoke to Radhika in her ear. She said, oh, enough of this discussion with this Madhu Mangal. I have an idea. Listen. Nanda Maharaj has a your father, Vrishabhanu Maharaj, as a Purohit. And he has so many daughters, Navakishoris, they're very fierce. You should tell them to change the cloth of Madhumangal and dress him in a female cloth and female ornaments. She's quietly saying to Radhika, no one can hear. And then you should send one messenger to Krishna and bring this message. Then Lalita spoke out to everyone. We will send a messenger to Krishna. And this is our message. We don't have, you are saying you should not be married with Radhika. We don't have another Kanya. We don't have another unmarried virgin girl who is suitable to offer to make this alliance. But we want to offer, we have one Padmini. Padmi, there are many different types of ladies, types of women. Padmini, Chitrini, Shankini, Hastini. Hastini means woman like elephant. Chitrini means woman who is very artistic. Understand? Chitrini, we have some artists here. And Padmini is very, very beautiful. Fragrance of like a lotus. Her natural fragrance is like a lotus. Her breath's fragrance is like lotus. So Lalita Sakhi said, we can offer you a Padmini who is radiant like a deep. She is the shining deep of Simla Dweep. Simla Dweep means Sri Lanka. So we have one Padmini who is the shining deep of Simla Dweep. And she has all the specialities of womanhood. So don't disrespect her because she's from a lower caste. Because if a Padmini woman appears in a low caste, she's still Padmini. And she should be accepted. Because in the Manu Smriti, it is said there, Amedyadapi kanchanam. Vishad api amritam grayam. You should accept nectar even if it comes from poison. Amedyad api kanchanam. You should take gold even if you find if there's a pile of dung and the gold is in it, but you take it out and clean it. You can take gold from a dirty place. And Ultanam vidyam, nichad apyutamam vidyam. Even if a person is from a low caste, but if they have vidya, knowledge, you should take the knowledge from them. And last, Stri Ratnam Dushkuladapi. If a woman is a Stri Ratna, really a jewel among women, if she comes from a lower caste, it doesn't matter. So according to the Manusmriti, you should accept this Padmini. So then Madhu Mangal said, all of you, you're all Padminis. You're also qualified. So how can anyone who comes from among you be unqualified in any way? Madhu Mangal was speaking some sweet, flattering words. Lalita became angry. Don't insult us. Lakshmi Devi and all the Padminis in the universe have been defeated by all the Braj Gopis and Shrimati Radhika. So don't compare us, Braj Gopis, to any Padmini. Then Radharani was laughing and she moved her eyebrows. To whom? Given a signal to the daughters of her father's Purohit. There were 50 very ferocious Navakishoris, and by that she gives some signal. Now Madhu Mangal, he was thinking, who is this shining deep of Simla Dweep? Who could it be, the shining deep of Simla Dweep? Who could it be? And as he was thinking, Radharani moved the eyebrow, and all those ferocious Navakishore, they came and they grabbed Madhu Mangal. And before he knew it, his cloth was gone here and there, and he was decorated, and he was the shining deep of Simla-dweep himself. Was a trick. Eh? Radhika was trying to make a trick to trick Krishna into marrying Madhumangal. So Radhika, Lalita had given this message with one boy, young boy. You tell them that our queen is offering you. Don't neglect her. Krishna, don't neglect her. She's very qualified. Offering you the shining deep of Simla-dweep. So then, when Krishna saw, the messenger went there to Krishna's side, and Krishna heard the message. Krishna was very suspicious. Who is this shining deep of Simla-dweep? So then he thought, no, I will not come into it could be a trap. I will not accept this kanya, this bride, but I can offer one bridegroom who she can be married to. So then he told some ladies, some older ladies in the group, and they went and they took everything, and the next moment that Radha-rasa-sudha, that old lady who had come, they disguised her as the bridegroom. So now, in diplomacy, everyone makes a show of negotiating in goodwill, but they have another plan. But when the ill will is detected, then what will happen? The explosion of hostility will come. So now, on one side, there's Radhika's army, and they have a beautiful kanya to be offered in marriage to make alliance between the two groups. And there's a beautiful bridegroom, very young and handsome. That means old woman. Dressed up as the bridegroom. Not so old, Radha-rasa-sudha, middle age. Huh? So then the two armies began to move and get closer and closer to each other. Radharani is the empress. She's surrounded by her generals and captains. And in front, the shining deep of Simla-dweep is being pushed forward. On the other side, Krishna's sakhas are coming. And Krishna is in the front with the Subal and others. And in front, they have their bridegroom they're going to offer. So then, they approached each other. They began to sing wedding songs. Some older ladies came and they took the veil of the shining deep of Simla-dweep and the dopata of the beautiful bridegroom and tied them together. And a beautiful wedding was going on. It looks like there'll be peace. Now, there will be peace. Everyone has some relief that there will be peace. Then the next moment, the Sakhis in Radharani's group said, "Hey, what is this? You're old. This bridegroom is old. And he has insulted our Padmini. Therefore, be ready for war." So when the deception was detected, now there's no other choice. The fourth upai comes, danda. So then suddenly, all the Sakhis of Radhika, they began to play their musical instruments and beat their drums and sing the songs of Holi. On Krishna's side, they began to beat their drums and play their musical instruments and sing the songs of Holi. And each side was also taunting each other, throwing insults at each other. The gopis took out their Lati Mara Holi. You know Lati Mara Holi? We just had the drama there on the last day of the Parakram in Navadvip. And you saw all Krishna and all the gopis dancing with the sticks. They strike sticks with each other and strike their own sticks. They drop on the ground and someone catches it. They throw through the air like this. The gopis are dancing in a formation and doing the Lati Mara Holi. Very beautifully, very delicately, very artistically, and throwing their sticks and catching each other's sticks. When the boys saw it, they took it as a challenge. Oh, we can also do that. So then whatever complicated moves the gopis are doing, then the cowherd boys, they're also dancing. And throwing their sticks and striking their sticks like this. The competition was going on. And then the war broke out. Gopis began to shoot their syringes. The cowherd boys were shooting their syringes. They were throwing their pollen bombs. Oh, the sky became red. The Yudha bhumi became red. Everyone was becoming red. The trees were red. All around the outskirts of the Yudha bhumi. Even the birds in the sky became red. The bumblebees became red. And in the midst of the battle, then Krishna made his move. Braj gopis make a chakravyuha. You know chakravyuha? You can get in, but you cannot get out. So Krishna attacked and he went into the chakravyuha and all gopis, they surrounded him. The main weapon in this war is the glance. An arrow can miss, but a bhav will never miss. So at once Krishna became injured by the glances of the gopis, and the gopis became injured by the Prem kataksh, loving glances of Sri Krishna. Krishna was striking with the sticks of the Braja gopis. He was wrestling with them hand to hand, and he was pushing them out of the way, gradually, going through one level to another. And finally, he made his way through all the armies to the king. The empress, Shrimati Radhika. At that time, now, Radha Krishna, they met together and they began to fight with their sticks in a dance. Beautiful. They were going faster and faster and doing so many moves and counter moves. And it was so beautiful. Just like Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur is saying in this verse, the bluish complexion of Krishna and the golden complexion of Radhika was like the flash of lightning on a rain cloud. And it happens, sometimes in a battle, if there are two great heroes who have such skill and they finally meet face to face, they begin to fight, what happens? All the other warriors stop fighting. So the gopis stopped fighting. The cowboys cannot see, and they made a circle. All the gopis made a circle around Radha Krishna, and Radha Krishna were fighting in the middle. And their skill, their moves and counter moves was so beautiful. All the Braj gopis became stamba. They were like golden statues. Around the edge of the arena where Radha Krishna were playing. And their moves, they're getting faster and faster and faster. Now, what is the meaning of Sakhi? A Sakhi, if anything comes in her heart, then it has to come out of the mouth. She cannot hold it inside. She has to express her feeling. So then the Sakhis, they began to sing. Pasya pasya Sakhi, Holi Yudha. Pasya pasya Sakhi, Holi Yudha. Pasya pasya Sakhi, Holi Yudha. Radha-rasa-sudha-nidhi, Suchiram Bavarkaludham, Radha-rasa-sudha-nidhi, Pasya pasya Sakhi, Holi Yudha. Sakhi saying, Hari Sakhi. Radha Madhav are manifesting unprecedented battle of Holi. As they face each other in this battle, then all of us Sakhis, all of our desires are being fulfilled. This is the fruit. Why are they doing all this diplomacy? Why are they doing this battle? They want Radha Krishna Jugala Milan, the meeting of Radha and Krishna. So in this battle, there's Danda Dandi. They're fighting with their sticks and showing great skill. Sometimes they're moving so fast that their cloth is coming loose. Krishna's pagri Yeah. Turban, yes. Krishna has a turban. And he's fighting so fast that it falls over his face. And when, at that time, if Radhika's Anchal falls over her face and she cannot see what she's doing, then Krishna steals a kiss. And if Krishna, his pagri falls over his eyes, he cannot see. At that time, Radhika steals a kiss. So they take that chance to taste Adharamrita.
Puja bhakjagena hari bahudarachi Hriday tasya bhanna leela Chakravaka yuga gini ravakali Yatra mohu kriti shila Pasya pasya sati Holi Yudha Pasya pasya sati Holi Yudha
Pasyapat means look, Saki, look. Are you looking? Tata tata pasyati vastu shukshmam chakshuryatai samprayuktam. Yata atma parimrijyate so matguna kata shavana bidane. Look, Saki, at this holy Yudha, Krishna's arms are like snakes. Fangalila. Krishna's arms are like snakes. And the heart of Radhika is the Hriday Sarovar. And the beautiful maturity of Radhika is like a Chakravaka birds. So you know the nature of the snake is to attack and swallow the Chakravaka birds.
Pasya pasya saki Holi Yudha Oh Saki, look.
Even though there are no trees in this place, we can see that a Swarnalata, a golden kripa is embracing the tamal tree. At that time, when the golden kripa embraced the tamal tree, then all the Sakis, they closed the circle. And they captured Krishna. And they took him by force. And they brought him back to the Shivir, to the camp of Shrimati Radharani. Then the Sakis are saying, oh look, the gopis have made Krishna sit down and they're pouring water all over him, which is the fragrant with kasturi. They're doing Abhishek of Krishna. And Radharani is stealing his flute. It's not surprising that she's stealing his flute because she has already taken the jewel of his heart. So now, see, Krishna is completely defeated. Completely defeated. He has been defeated by Radhika. He has accepted his defeat. He's been captured, kidnapped, and taken to the opposing camp. So then what happens? Balaram and Krishna's friends get together and they say, oh, we have to get Krishna back, but we don't want to fight. We should pay a ransom. If someone is kidnapped, then they call the relatives and say, you have to leave $1 million in a bag in the cafe on the corner of the street. You have to come and leave some money and then you can get your relative back. So Balaram, he decided, oh, let's get so many gifts. And they collected so many valuable jewels and ornaments and they put them together. And then they offered this as a ransom for Krishna's release. So then, receiving all these jewels and ornaments, the Sakis, they released Krishna and he came back to his side. Now really, Radhika is the empress. Krishna has been defeated. In this way, the peace treaty was made and the demigods began to shower flowers from the sky at that moment. And all the Sakis sat down and Sri Krishna sat down with the Sakis and Shrimati Radhika and began to sing the glories of Shrimati Radhika.
Radhe 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 Jai Jai Sri Radhe 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 Jai Sri Radhe 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 Jai Sri Radhe 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 Jai Sri Radhe O Asta Sati Shiromati Radhe Radhe
And as Sri Krishna did a Radha Kirtan, relishing the Radha-rasa-sudha-nidhi, the endless ocean of the rasa of Srimati Radhika's qualities, everyone was drowning in that ocean of prema rasa. This is Holy Leela. So Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur was saying, when will I be there as a kinkari in this pastime? When Radhika and her Sakhis are going to Holi, carrying the pitchkari for them, carrying the luck full of the lotus pollen and all the necessary things for the service of Radhika at that time. When will I fan Radhika with the chamar? Being very proud that she's Vrindavan Chakravarti, the Empress of Vrindavan. All of these, this is the Seva Abhilas of the Kinkaris, the Manjaris, expressed here in Radha-rasa-sudha-nidhi and by all our great acharyas.